Yo, you in this? You in this? And the shift report. Holiday road. Okay. Hey, y'all lucked out today. It's gonna be a couple minutes short because, as I've said before, my little walking path is starting to get more popular, and there was 3 freaking women walking right next to me, so I couldn't quite get comfortable enough to start talking into this thing to myself. I gotta say though, with those women walking there, it's a damn shame I didn't have any Tic Tacs, because I could have popped a couple of those bad boys into my mouth and started grabbing those women by the pussy. That's life, I guess. That's life. First thing is, that's gonna be so weird if somebody listens to this in 2-3 years or whatever. They have no idea what I just referenced right there. I'm gonna let it hang though. Maybe it will live on in history. So, like I was saying, first thing first, I have to make a correction, because I made a joke that I thought was a really good joke about how people would turn to watch the Walking Dead premiere instead of the second debate because they wanted something more pleasant and relaxing and less violent. And it turns out that Walking Dead don't start until the end of the month, so they weren't playing on the same night. I got it wrong. Shows you how much I'm following TV. That really was the only thing I had on my mind to say today. So while we're at it, talk about TV a little bit. Actually, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm very behind on it, because I think it's good though. I think it's good. I've gotten a lot more done when I haven't just been like every night like, oh, this is on tonight, I gotta download that for tomorrow and blah blah blah, so on and so forth. Really eats up a lot of time. So at the same time, I say that I watch a lot of Netflix, so it's not exactly like I'm saving time by not watching these TV shows, because I'm just turning around and watching Netflix and YouTube anyway. I watch so much I go on these YouTube runs where there'll be a certain topic that I get just totally into, that I want to watch every single video for. And the latest one was my homies Beavis and Butthead. So I've watched so many Beavis and Butthead clips over the past couple days. I just see everything in the lens of whether or not it sucks. I'm just thinking about shit, and it's like, it sucks. I can't pay my bills. That doesn't rule. Okay, anyway. Y'all know about Beavis and Butthead, right? I told you about how when I was a kid, my voice sounded exactly like Butthead, so I had to completely change the way I talked because I was getting made fun of for it. And looking back on it, I kind of wonder if that's true, or if it's one of those things where it was kind of a life story that developed in my head but wasn't actually the case. I do have a story. Maybe I can try to squeeze it in time before I go into Dollar General that fits along those lines. I remember with my friend Luke, who I made the Twilight Lieutenants album with, we were talking, like reminiscing back about how we first met and everything. And I was like, yeah, man, I remember I was in Iraq and I was on MySpace, like looking for fellow musicians to collaborate with when I got back to Austin. It's like, yeah, I found your band and I remember it's a good thing, like I did that. And he told me, no, dude, I reached out to you and you wrote me back on some, I don't fuck with people on the internet that I don't know, so I don't think it's gonna happen. So like, that's a good example of how you see shit in your head versus how it really goes. No tabloids to really report about at the Dollar General today. No Inquirer or US Weekly or whatever like that. There's a couple things there, but I guess they're a little more respectable of publications. But anyway, I did remember to get my TP today, which is a win. You can get 6 rolls for $1, and I don't care how rich I ever get. There's no way I'm gonna spend a shitload of money on toilet paper, man. I can't do it. If I got money like that and I'm flossing, I like those wipes, the Cottonelle, you know. That's some lavish life, but those kind of, I don't know, they're kind of weird in a way. But yeah, like, I mean, I know you want to feel buttery smooth or whatever when you're wiping like those bears in those commercials and shit, but I mean, these 6 for $1 rolls, I fucks with them and they ain't that scratchy, bro. It's not that bad a situation. I wonder how much thought goes into the patterns that you see on toilet paper. Like, they have a little floral print or whatever, the ridges and everything, which actually the only reason they have those is just so you can catch some little grips on the when you're wiping, as opposed to if they were completely smooth, they wouldn't be as effective. That's funny. Here's what those really pretty little flower patterns are really for. They're not for looks, really. It's just so we can have some bumps in this shit to provide some embossment to help. You get the point. I'm carrying on way too much about that. Anyway, yeah. Don't waste your money on that expensive TP. Just deal with what you can get, man. Deal with what you can get. As long as it's not completely flat, I think you're gonna be all right. Speaking of being all right, these are my shifts for the week, folks. I'm gonna be all right with these days off. I got things to handle. You can't. Sorry, I'm laughing as if I said something. You can't see me right now. That pause that was just there for a second was me, like, with my head down, like rubbing my chin really pensively, like I was thinking about some serious philosophical shit. When in actuality, I was just trying to come up with a follow-up about some goddamn toilet paper. That's what I'm doing right now. That's what the life is. Did I mention that I live right next to a Bluebell Creamery? Y'all remember back in the day with that whole Listeria outbreak? Anybody remember that shit? That's gonna be me. I'm gonna be that dude who's gonna be reminding y'all about that shit from days gone by and years ago. Like, oh yeah, shit, I did forget about all that. Did you forget when Howard Dean was running for president and he got clowned on the Dave Chappelle show because he's that guy who was like, we're gonna go to Virginia and we're gonna go to Iowa and I'm gonna win and I'm gonna be president. Woo! Oh god. You remember that guy? I just hurt my throat real bad doing that. I don't think that was worth it. I noticed I reviewed some of these reports and been coughing. I didn't even realize it at all. I'm self-conscious about these things that I say, and yet I had no idea I'm like steadily dying on these things with these coughs. Do I have a condition? Really, that's what these reports are for. They're not so much meant for you to listen to on the day-to-day. It's meant to, by the end of it, become a collected work for you to, you know, kind of browse after my demise, which is something I worry about. And I had a good run where I didn't worry about it. But that's what happens when you have too much time on your hands, Mike. Don't worry about it. yeah, so basically, uh, well, basically, I got no jokes. I mean, I got jokes, but I can't just whip them out. Like, I just don't have them on deck like that. Like, I have some funny material when I'm sitting around thinking about, like, oh yeah, I got this one and this one and this premise, and I can go on this. But you put me on the spot, like, hey man, what are some of your jokes? I'm like, I do have that one thing asking about, like, how does the Pillsbury Doughboy wash himself off because he's exposed dough, so he's bound to get all kinds of lint and shit on him. I do have that one. Oh, while I have toilet paper on my mind, I got that joke about who won the government bid for White House toilet paper. Like, who supplies the presidents with their TP, and just imagine that house where they've just got framed squares of toilet paper from each president. Somebody suggested I should mention that, like, each president actually wiped with them, so you're looking at a used sample of each toilet paper thing. But I thought that was too far, too much in poor taste. Around the time I came up with that joke was also around the time that I thought about the Surgeon General warning. And Surgeon General, what army is that? I've never heard of the Surgeon Army. So we got this general, and he's got no ground forces, and that kind of ties back to the whole Bluebell thing, because back when I had my live show at Mr. Tramps, I came up with a joke about back when Bluebell was off the market, that I was still running 2-quart tubs of it underground in the Bluebell underground black market, and we got raided by the Surgeon General's army, and they don't play around. So there you go, tying it all into each other. It comes together after all those old ass jokes. Where's them new jokes, Macau? Let me hear that new shit. I don't want to hear any more of you running back again talking about this whole, hey man, those kids in Willy Wonka, they died. Willy Wonka had the first 9 Inch Nails video when he was going through the tunnel with those kids. I don't want to hear that old shit, them first jokes. Where are them new jokes about you putting on a suit and throwing yourself in the dumpster? I just tried to use my mailbox key as my apartment key. I'm just running down the clock at this point. All right. I'm not going to be back at work for a long time, guys and gals and pals and animals. So I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I was sitting at work. I was thinking about, the whole point of this thing was, if I do it consistently, it gets better and better because I'm spending more and more time doing it. And then I got less hours at work, so that became less fucking reports. And it's like, well, wow, you're kind of defeating the purpose. So I got to figure out something that I'm supposed to do on a day-to-day basis. But as far as this report goes, yeah, don't expect nothing for quite some time, because I don't go back to work for quite some time. In the meantime, check me out on... No, I'm just kidding. Do that standard fucking closing advertising. If you're listening to this, you know what's up. You know where to find it, all that shit, whatever. I'm just going to say it. Peace.